What started as a Saturday morning coffee date turned into a podcast where we chat about things like faith, family, finances, and so much more.
In a world that is encouraging you to live your truth and to follow your heart, we want to encourage you to live devoted to the truth.
The Bible has a lot to say about how to live a victorious Christian life, and we want to share practical insight in how to apply those truths to your life as we endeavor to apply them to our own lives as well.
If you enjoy this podcast, please leave us a review and share these episodes with your friends so that you can help them live this devoted life too.
Hey, Dawson.
Hello, Mr. Smith.
Hey, man. It's so nice to meet you. I like your shirt.
Yeah, thanks.
The special wardrobe for today's podcast. I like it.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
you're 12? Is that right? Did you say
Yes.
12? Oh,
Yeah, I'm 12.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So cool to meet you.
Yeah. Would you like to tell them what are some of your hobbies, actually?
Rubik's Cubes, archery, RC cars, and baseball.
Ooh, that sounds like a real American kid. I like that a lot. That is very cool.
Yeah. And he throws some reading in there every once in a while,
Every
right?
once in a while.
You don't want to do too much of that. That could ruin the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, let's not get crazy. Yeah. So awesome. So did you have a few questions for Mr. Smith?
Yeah. Do you like writing books?
I do. I really love it. That's my favorite part of the whole thing is the storytelling. I really, when you're talking about some of your hobbies like archery and RC cars and stuff, and I think about when I was a kid in baseball, and I played like every sport, and it's really related. It's relatable to sports in a way for me, partly because, I don't know, if you get older, I was a little bit of a anxious kid in some ways. I would tend to worry a little bit, but when I played sports, I didn't worry. I would be really self-forgetful and thinking about what's going on in the moment, that kind of thing. And that's what it's like to write a good story, I think, or to just get lost in it in a real, I don't know, like you're there and, an hour or two go by and I sort of just in a flash. And it's so much like play. It's like playing as a kid. And so I love it. I love that part of it. The release from sort of like thinking about the worries of the day or different anxieties is similar to what I experience with sports.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's fun to go into daydreaming and thinking about the future and stuff and about the past.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of cool. There's a principle about flow state. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but where something is difficult, it's difficult enough that it brings out, makes you sort of rise to the occasion, but it's not so difficult that it completely like stymies you or stops you. You kind of get in this state. You see it with athletes sometimes, and you see it in probably every vocation. But when you're in that, that's a real fun place to be. It's maybe like when you're real hot at the plate or something. You're the ball
can't
looks
miss.
Yeah, the ball looks big, or you know what I mean. That sort of feeling of just like, oh, it's slowing down for me. Everything's kind of that flow state. That when I get in that place with writing, it's really special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great analogy. Yeah.
How long does it take to like write a book and publish it and stuff?
Wow. I think I get asked this a lot, so I kind of have an answer. But the truth is it's different every time. It's really different. Sometimes it's a really compressed time, and sometimes that's because of the needs of like when it's going to come out, that kind of a thing, of, sort of artificial deadlines or real deadlines that we've imposed. And there's longer books and shorter books. I'd say the average is it probably takes me 6 months maybe to write a book and maybe probably more like a year to publish. That might be maybe a faithful way to represent it. Sometimes it's much quicker and sometimes it's a little longer, but I'd say that's probably 3 to 6 months probably to write and maybe 6 to 12 months to publish.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was like kind of expecting you would say, because like I like writing and reading a lot too, and I might write some things like when I get older, but I'm kind of wanting to do what this guy does.
Yeah. Well, if you do end up writing, or doing sort of a so-called creative vocation, if you do that, like the skills that your dad has in entrepreneurship and business and understanding, it will be such an advantage for you. Like what they, in business terms they call it unfair advantage, which is often a place of strength for you really, and something to lean into. And So, I mean, so many authors, like myself included, when I was your age, I didn't have any idea about how to run a business or anything like that. And I didn't see it as connected to creative work. So, and it's so very much is. So
Yeah.
that you're already sort of have a really good head start just by having your dad in your life and living in the home you're in. It's just, it's a big leg up in that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taught me a lot of stuff about tools and lots of working and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you saying that, because it is so true. I kind of use the phrase cheat mode, in a gaming sense. Not that I'm a gamer per se, but a lot of times you just, because of some experience that I have and some background and interests, it is kind of like almost like a cheat mode, that flow state, and there's all of what you've said so far. I'm feeling it. That's awesome.
Cool.
What inspires you to write books?
The original thing for my first book that came out was The Green Ember, and that was entirely an organic, authentic sort of relationship-based work with my kids. So I was told the stories to my kids, at bedtime and on walks, just different times throughout the day when they were little, and it just kind of carried on for many, many years. And so it's really rooted. All of my work, because of that, is really rooted in hospitality and generosity, like to my kids. And so it's a pretty neat to have a job where I don't have to fake like affection or enthusiasm for my audience, because it started with my kids, but then since then I've done book tours and book signings and things all across the country, and I've met tens of thousands of kids, sort of readers, fans, and I love them like with all my heart. So and as a Christian, my vocation is more about love and service than about fame or self-expression or that kind of thing. So I think about this as it's really connected. So that's inspiring to me. I think a lot of people, I think writing is not so much about like waiting for inspiration to strike. I think if you do that, you're not going to be productive. I try to think in work terms of like determination instead of inspiration or passion. Even I have those things, but they're not always constant. They go up and down, the inspiration and the passion. But determination is a big word for me. And because I think of my vocation as a writer as being very, very Christian, because God made the world and God made he calls different people: the farmer, the pastor, the mom, the plumber, the construction worker. All these are good things, gifts from God. And of course we're all fallen in every area, but I take that calling very seriously as an opportunity to love and serve. And all those vocations are about love and service. So I feel I'm determined to do my job well. I want to do a good job, but it is a real blessing that I don't feel detached, or I'm not frustrated in that. It's easy for me to get connected to the love part because it's so genuine. Really, I love the kids, you guys, that's my heart. And so I don't have to fake that. And that's a really fun, that's a sweet sort of component, especially like when days are tough or things are difficult.
Yeah. What a great answer. Yeah.
I appreciate you writing your books and stuff. It's been really fun to read your books and like see what's like you're thinking about and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Dawson. That means the
Yeah, you're
world to me,
welcome.
man. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, thanks for hanging out with me. Those are great questions, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Maybe we'll get together in person. You guys live in Michigan?
We do.
Okay. Well, when you come by West Virginia, just holler.
I was going to say, if you want to come up in the Pleasant Peninsula, you have to look us up. Yeah.
Are you in the UP?
So we're not, but the whole state of Michigan is a peninsula. So the UP, you got to get out both hands for it. I don't know if you are aware of that. So I actually went to school. I went to college up in the Keweenaw Peninsula of Michigan Tech. And but yeah, we live kind of by the Saginaw Bay. So
that's cool.
Anytime you're run up 75, you'll be pretty close to us.
Well, I set you up for that. I guess I didn't mean to, but I'll be in Michigan twice in the next little bit. I'll be in Michigan in March, I think, or I'm sorry, nice. May 13th, something. I'm going to the homeschool conference in Lansing, here in
Oh,
a
okay.
week or two, and then I'm going to go
Yep.
to Realm Makers, which is in Grand Rapids. So I'm actually going to. I've never done an event in Michigan before, but I'm
Really? Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I think is that the one that you spoke at last year? So we're unfortunately not going to be at that one this year, or else we would
You're
absolutely
dodging
be.
me. You're dodging
I
me. I can
know,
tell.
right? Yeah. Yeah. But all you have to do is you have to go an hour northeast of Lansing, and we'll hook up and have dinner, whatever you want.
There we go. All right. Cool. Are you guys State or Wolverine fans?
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Good
Okay.
answer.
All
Go
right.
blue.
Okay. I like that. All right.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else, Bud, that you wanted
Nope,
to
I
ask
think
him?
that was it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you, Dawson. That was cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this Devoted Life podcast with James and Shanda. We appreciate your support in sharing biblical, uplifting truths with the world. If you found value in this episode, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us to improve the show, and we'd love to hear from you. Be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. To learn more about how to live a life devoted to God and family, head over to thisdevotedlife.com. You can also follow me, Shanda, on Instagram at devoted_motherhood. Thank you again for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time on This Devoted Life podcast.